Is there a particular segment in particular, a housing segment that's gone through greater growth than others? Vacant land, units, the prestige market? What does the data show?
Well, I guess in terms of buyer types, what we saw early on in the pandemic is that there was a lot of first home buyer activity. So they like a slow market. The market was pretty slow at the start of the pandemic, and we also saw home builder, which really helped them out as well.
Yeah.
As we moved to the end of 2020, we started to see investors come back. So at the moment, they are the ones that are really growing finance data, for example. So they're borrowing a lot. They're back out there buying investment properties. In terms of what's done well, it has been established houses. Okay. The pandemic has led to people wanting more space. It's led to people being quite prepared to move a lot further out than they otherwise would have prior to the pandemic. So that was the trend. Regional areas have done really well, so that's been a trend. But as we get back to more normal living, which at the moment does seem a little bit far away, we will see more demand for things like apartments. International borders reopening will really help with rental levels. We have seen strong rental levels in southeast Queensland, but that will further push it along. So it is an interesting year, but there's a lot of uncertainty, as you said.
I mean, some of those comments resonate with me. Selling through the Western Corridor of Brisbane, traditionally we've found a segue for people out on acreage a bit further out wanting to come closer in traditionally, but of course since the pandemic it's gone the other way again. People are going out for more space, obviously being able to work from home. They're not as anchored to the CBD in terms of working environments, so it's certainly been a big change for us. You spoke earlier about there being more investors in the market. Will that cause a bit more of supply in the rental side of things, or from the rental market perspective? Do you think that might slow prices?
Look, I don't think it will.
Okay.
We know that the surest way to slow rental growth is to increase housing supply. So the more housing development that takes place in Brisbane will slow down rental increases. Yeah. Investors are so critical though. So this is a thing with the view of investors in the last election is that they were seen as the bad guys locking first home buyers out, but fundamentally they provide probably 95% of rental properties in Australia. So if we don't have investors, we don't have enough rental properties, and that pushes up rental levels. Okay. The big issue around rents this year will be international borders reopening. So people moving to Australia, they obviously don't buy first, they rent first. And so a flood of people coming in will have a very big impact on rental levels.
So we expect rents to rise this year?
Significantly.
Okay, wow.